The Vancouver Canucks continue making moves after placing Kratzov on waivers just 24 hours ago. We get yet again another Vancouver Canuck hitting the waiver wire as multiple prospects and Abbotsford players make a big push to steal the final roster spot. This has some serious implications on not only this season, but the future of the Vancouver Canucks as multiple young players look to shine. We're going to break down these waiver moves by the Vancouver Canucks and multiple players fighting for this one position, which has made this camp even more competitive. We're going to break down all this and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching. If you're part of the 58.1% watching this and you haven't hit the sub button yet, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. It means the world. And in return, we'll give you daily updates from all around the team. But with that, let's dive straight into it. And before we get into these multiple players kind of forcing Allvin's hand while going through the process, we do get some updates on the waivers. Now, we've seen Kratzov play some waivers yesterday. Only 3 guys were claimed, and one of them was not Kratzov. Now, we know Kratzov's a weird situation. Came over from the KHL looking outstanding, scoring 27 goals in the KHL just last year, but he lost a spot on this Canucks team with multiple players from Abbotsford all the way to a rookie drafted this year, outplaying him during this camp in preseason. Things are going to get interesting with Kratzov. We don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to report to Abbotsford and make a push to join this team, go on a bit of a run, and hopefully get called up? Are the Canucks going to actively look to ship him off in a trade? Or is the former KHL star going to head back to Russia after not making it on North American ice? Now, we see the Abbotsford Canucks as of October 1st are in their camp. They're getting their players. They're going to start making their cuts. So Kratzov has a bit of a decision, and it's going to come down to if he wants to stay in North America and continue pursuing the dream of being in the NHL after not having the best stints. But listen, having him in the system and not losing him for nothing is great for the Canucks, and you get added depth for a Abbotsford team that wants to go on a bit of a run going into this game or into the regular season as they want to win another Calder Cup. Now, we do see Patrik Allvin announced yet again another waiver, and we're seeing the roster trim down slowly as they place for Nils Aman on waivers today. Now, with Aman, this one feels a little interesting. This is a player that hasn't really got a shot in the NHL yet. We've seen some good seasons from him when his ice time was high. Aman put up 16 points in 68 games, but every season after season, we've seen his totals drop, but also the ice times and games played. We've seen 23, 24, 43 games with 7 points going into last year, 19 games, putting up 6 points. The forward has played 130 games, still only 25 years old, and I think there's a good chance we see Nils claimed on waivers by a team looking to add some depth. Now, with Nils, the Canucks need center. Nils is listed as a center as well on a good contract. It was a 2-year deal with $825K, which does seem like a lot of teams are going to be drawn into. But the biggest thing with him is he could never get his faceoffs figured out in the NHL. 45.6% 2 years ago at the age of 23. Looked promising, but it dropped to 37.8 in just 10.5 minutes. We've seen in his rookie year with the Canucks coming in on 38%, where he did put up 16 points. But all signs are pointing to Nils Aman probably being claimed. And listen, that sucks. I'd love to see him go unclaimed, join this Abbotsford team on a bit of a run, maybe be a call-up throughout the season. But with the Canucks getting deeper and deeper, especially on the wing position, and seeing Nils not really be able to hold it down on the center position, it does seem like all signs are pointing to either him being moved, him being claimed, or at least going on a bit of a run with Abbotsford to force Allvin to have a second look at him. But before we dive into a lot of these guys that are coming up, what is your thoughts on this? Do you think Kratzov is going to stay with Abbotsford? Do you think he goes back to the KHL? Could this be a situation where we've seen the Edmonton Oilers get Connor Ingham via trade? He was coming back on a 2-way contract as he already cleared waivers, so maybe this is Allvin's plan with Kratzov. And what is your thoughts on Nils Aman? Let us know down below, but let's go straight into the second part where we did get a quote from Adam Foote yesterday. He said, that's what you want. You want to have hard decisions. Just means you have more depth with our youth. That's a good thing. Now, the story around this Canucks team was who's going to fill out where. We see Nils Höglander go down with an injury, which we hate to see, but it made it even more competitive for these final spots as Allvin and Adam Foote continue to figure it out. Now, looking at this team, the third line left wing, it does seem like Drew O'Connor is a guy that can jump up here. Maybe they move a guy like Kratzov up and Blueger to the wing. But the big thing is there's about 4 guys really fighting for this final spot on the roster. R.C. Baines coming in with 2 assists in his last game, looked great in his final preseason game. Max Sasson, 2 goals during this game as well, and Linus Karlsson has been on the outside looking in for a couple seasons now, but with these 3 guys, we know they have experience. They went down to Abbotsford, they won a cup, they were huge parts of the run, but the one player in particular that's been really surprising to myself and a lot of fans is Coots. Now with Coots, we know a young forward coming out of the draft, 15th overall pick, still not in his first NHL regular season game, but the big thing with Coots coming through, it's going to get interesting if this management group and if Adam Foote looks and says, hey, why don't we try him off in the third line left wing? You play with Teddy Blueger and Conor Garland. There's no better veterans on this team. And listen, you can play with higher talent, but these 2 guys are leadership roles. They're veterans. They can help the young Coots work into the NHL. Give him his 9-game sample size, and on the defensive end, the battle doesn't stop there. We know the battle for that last spot on the third pairing is coming down to 3 guys, Joseph, Mancini, and Willender, but it does seem like Joseph is going to end up being maybe the 7th or 8th defenseman, but it does get interesting. This is a Canucks team that's a lot more competitive than most people thought. Yes, coming into the season, or off season, I should say, going into the season, we know Linus Karlsson was a guy that most likely was going to steal a spot, but seeing Baines look well, still be a gritty guy that can still perform. Max Sassons with 2 goals in his final game in the preseason, this is really getting competitive. I'm loving what we're seeing. I do truly think Coots is going to get that small sample size. Canucks fans, let me know if you think any different, but with the young forward playing well, with them not having to burn a year off his ELC, if they want to put him into the 8 or 9 games, why not do it? They can get him in. This is a crucial season, but I think this is the perfect time for management and Adam Foote to really get a taste of some of the guys that they have coming through this system. Some guys in Abbotsford. We see in the quote coming in from Foote himself that it's a great thing that these decisions are hard. We have the youth. This team is on the verge of something great. The implications of these players moving forward is going to be huge on the Canucks. If an injury does happen on the forward position or defense, you know you have those guys ready and hungry to get in. And I think everything is going to hopefully pan out in the right direction. The next few days is going to get very interesting when we see even more cuts. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? Leave a comment down below. And while you're down there, we'll speak right on comment today. Sorry, I'm on a bit of a blender today, but it goes straight into Harper saying those Abby's players absolutely deserve a chance to play in the NHL this year. Mancini, Sasson, Karlsson, Baines, Lekramaki all have great chemistry and should be on the ice together, giving our Canucks some depth. And that's the great thing with the system that Manny Malhotra has built. We're seeing the ingrown chemistry coming from the farm system straight into the NHL, and I think the transition period between these guys are going to be flawless. But leave your thoughts on anything down below. You could be featured on the comments of the day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode. And listen, hockey is just a few days away, and I cannot wait to cover it and watch it with you guys. So leave your thoughts on how you think the Canucks are going to be by Christmas down below. But that'd be this for this episode. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, and take care, Canucks fans.